YUUJI Willikers, fellas, would you look at the time? It's spoiler time. What's up, guys? Elephants here, and we want to do a nice little breakdown and spoiler discussion on chapter 250. Wait, what? I actually completely forget which number we're on. 56? I think it's 256. We're on chapter 256 of Jujutsu Kaisen. And you know what time it is? We got spoilers, we got spoilers, we got spoilers. And, but you know what? I'm a little mixed because it does something to a system mechanic that I don't like, but we got so much to talk about, and unfortunately, at least for this case, so little time. So let's not waste any more time, and let's hop right into it. Editing me, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a... Yeah, there you go. Pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, Gojo Satoru. Well, I'm personally in the camp that I want him to stay gone. Man, Gege loves showing us the guy. I don't know, I think it's intentional at this point. And notably, here's the thing, I can't even knock consistently bringing Gojo back as like a mechanic to explain things or reference things, because he is one of the most knowledgeable characters in the series, right? Like, he has the 6 eyes, so of course he'd be good at explaining things. Of course, the context of some of these flashbacks is a little bit weird, like who was asking about who's the strongest grade 1, who was talking to Gojo about Black Flash. But regardless, we open up in this little chapter with a little certain something. Gojo Satoru explaining the phenomena of Black Flash and the idea that everyone's so shocked that he can't do it all the time. Especially considering Black Flash is so, like, scientific, in a sense. Like, oh, all you need to do, and I say all you need to do as if it's something easy, but all you need to do is imply your cursed energy in time with your physical hit in this 0.000000001% of a second. But Gojo Satoru, with your perception and the 6 eyes and your literal atomic level cursed energy control, why isn't literally every single one of your hits a manifestation of Black Flash? Which is a reasonably good question, right? Because notably, while a lot of our casting crew hit Black Flashes by luck, or some of them just can't, I'm looking at you, Maki, I'm looking at you, Toji, it is weird that someone like Gojo, who's noted to have the best curse energy control, efficiency, manipulation, all that in the series, except for actual monsters like Ryoma and Sukuna, he doesn't consistently hit Black Flash. Even when he started to hit Black Flashes, there were like large gaps between them. Or not large, but sizable enough gaps between the Black Flashes. And it took him way late into the battle too. However, Gojo explains that it's not just a matter of timing, but it is like genuinely a matter of luck. And like the world itself kind of working for or against you. So essentially, he can't force it out, which that sounds so bad, but he legit cannot force it out. It's something that will only happen if all the appropriate conditions are met, if you get into the zone. It is a combination of factors. It isn't just a matter of control, which I do kind of like, because it makes Black Flash a bit more like system mechanic-y, because notably I do think JJK is loosely based around video game mechanics. I don't think that's too controversial of a thing to say. So I've always considered Black Flash kind of just like a critical hit system, and a critical hit system that does have certain after effects that you wouldn't get from most critical hits, unless you're talking like the Persona series with like the one more system, and like there are ways you can go into it, but even then, nah, it's like literally just like the Persona critical hit system, and possibly even the Shin Megami Tensei one more system. But regardless, essentially, I do consider something like that, so I'm fine with the mechanic having a bit more random chance behind it. However, if this chapter does one thing, it just makes me double down on the idea that either A, Sukuna just must be holding back immensely. Even more immensely than I thought he's already holding back immensely. B, his output is so in it, like it's literally in exponential deficits with how low his output must be right now on all fronts. Or C, Black Flash is a lie. I'm leaning heavily towards C, because the first two, while I'm somewhat fine with, it's way, like, we'll get into it. I'm going to go more in depth in the long spoiler discussion, because I'm trying to limit this. I'm trying to hold myself back. So, with that being the case, Gojo just explains, yeah, Black Flash, it's cool, it's neat, it's a nice system mechanic, but I can't force it. No one can force it. It is legit just a system mechanic. If the system wants to work with you that day, bada bing, bada boom, the system's going to work with you. If the system doesn't want to work with you that day, guess what, bucko? The system is not going to work with you. So, with that being the case, we see that the system, it's working with Ryoma and Sukuna. He's entering the zone. He got that second Black Flash, and he started feeling himself. I will wholeheartedly admit, the way last chapter ended off, I was expecting a little bit more of this chapter, but at the same time, we do get big things this chapter that I do like, but at least the way they ended off 255, I was really expecting like Sukuna to get something big or to do something big, bad, beastly. But at the same time, I get why they aren't having Sukuna do something big, bad, and beastly, because we kind of can't. Like, how many more characters are we gonna lose? I mean, we could still lose more, right? Like, and notably, I've been fully brought around to the fact and awakened to the truth, if you will, that we really haven't lost too many people. Like, not too many people have fallen at this point. The only people who we've legit lost, and people are still in denial about the first one, is Gojo and Kashimo and Higuruma. And like, the latter of those two characters aren't even 100 chapters old. Well, I think now they may be 100 chapters old, but like at the time of their deaths, they were not 100 chapters old. And Gojo Satoru, he's been going for months now, so like we haven't really lost anybody. Even Yuta Okotsu, I mean, he's in half, but apparently he's fine. Like he broke his domain himself. So I mean, I get it. I'm down with more characters getting got, but at this point, like, come on now, Bucko. When you gonna start whipping it up in the kitchen? But speaking of whipping it up in the kitchen, I will admit this is a very fire Sukuna panel. I love how he looks almost like he's about to take up a fighting stance. Like he looks like what's that? Akuma? What I don't play enough Street Fighter. I forget. He looks like a literal fighting game character about to start tweaking out right now. And we see everyone realize, oh no, because naturally they know what Black Flash does is destroy their properties and the dangers of Sukuna really getting on a roll. And of course, Sukuna's gonna get on a roll. As we see, Ryoma and Sukuna, they immediately start pressing, bro. They know it's too dangerous. He's too devious. He's too dangerous to be kept alive. And they immediately start going to cook that man for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then begin jumping him to oblivion. Which, once again, you gotta do. You gotta keep that pressure on. And we see as Maki goes into swing, Sukuna does clash with her. Once again, I do admit, Maki, you need to beat the allegations. You need to. I get it. A lot of Yuta's best feats came when he was in Domain, and Sukuna only had the 2 arms. But right now, Sukuna's basically 2-armed. Maki, we gotta get past the Sneak Nation allegations. I'm low-key getting hurt. He's always reacting to you. And I get it. It's Sukuna. Of course he's gonna be always able to react to Maki. But like, we have Yuta out here with his regular hands tearing off body parts. And with his regular sword tearing off body parts. Admittedly, once again, Sukuna was in his domain. So obviously Yuta's gonna have massive stat buffs and Sukuna's gonna be debuffed and he won't be able to do things. I get it. But still, Maki, please. Please, tag him. And to be fair, she does do things later on in this chapter, but like, look at this. Soul Split Katana for what? If you don't hurry up and slash him. But we see Choso goes for the kick, knocking Sukuna back. Yuji Todori, he comes in, he tears off a whole railing. My boy, he's like, but then again, I do remember this is exactly what Sukuna called him born for before, where he grabbed like another type of railing, trying to wrap Sukuna up in it. Itadori Yuji, he comes in, he goes to pin Sukuna down. And notably, Sukuna's forced to deal with Maki, because once again, he can't fully take his eyes off her. And I do like that. I do like that mechanic. Not necessarily mechanic. I do like the fact that once Maki arrives on the battlefield, Sukuna's like, no. I'm not dealing with you. Like, he always needs to lock in a bit more in regards to her. Because notably, don't get me wrong, Yuji is definitely dangerous to Sukuna right now. But like, even with his output slowly but surely being restored and that keep getting knocked down by Yuji, the main issue with Maki is that if she just starts taking limbs again and again and again, he's not going to be able to defend himself as well. We know he can do slashes from anywhere on his body at this point, with basically no motion. No, like literally 0 motion. There was no motion in the Kusakabe fight. So we know he can do that. So he can probably keep defending himself. But like, if he's caught lacking and Maki takes a leg, that leg's not coming back anytime soon. He'll slowly start to regrow, but he'll be hobbling. If he loses another arm, it'll slowly start to come back, but it'll come back slowly. So I do appreciate the fact that Sukuna has to keep such an active eye on Maki. Like, no. You stay away, which is funny to me. We see this is honestly a W trio kind of chapter because Itadori and Choso, they go in, they pin. This is admittedly a super fire panel. I love Yuji slams Sukuna into the wall, says locks him in like he's getting on a roller coaster. Stay down, and you have to be approximately 6 feet to ride this roller coaster. Boom, slams him into the wall, and Choso's like, "Hold on, big bro, I got something for you. You've been dodging too many of these bad boys." Yeah, and he goes to launch off a piercing blood. But Sukuna, once again, showing the fact that the man, like, I feel like holding back isn't even the phrase anymore. He's legit just dancing. Because he instantly escapes this point blank piercing blood, and he doesn't just escape it. Bro escapes Yuji, the roller coaster he was locked into, with a full, like, KH2 reversal. How is he moving like Like, golly. I know he just hit another Black Flash. So, like, obviously his output's coming back. And notably, Yuji doesn't actually land a proper hit on him here, so obviously his output isn't dropping again. But still, golly! The speed, the motion, the velocity. He's moving. Devious. And speaking of moving devious, we do get to see that certain someone keeps moving devious. And I love this because Maki legit went through an entire storefront and said, "Hum!" and then lunged straight through a wall and then pinned Sukuna to it. But once again, Sukuna's just showing his ability to react and read and keep his eyes on Maki because he immediately, no, don't do it. But I do like that Maki does have enough raw force now with her motions that she's able to consistently, like, knock Sukuna around. He puts a lot of effort into not just blocking Soul Split with the mini cleaves, but he also can't necessarily fully stop himself in motion. Like, notably, we've seen him essentially just no-sell characters and their motion whenever they try to stab him or attack him. Meanwhile, every single time Maki, who should probably be our strongest, like, I know Yuji's here, so maybe Yuji should be our physically strongest, but notably, outside of Rika, Maki's the only one to, like, consistently knock Sukuna around, like, straight throw him through things. Remember when she dog tackled him off of Kusakabe through another part of the building, and then went opposite to him on a pillar that he bounced off of, body checked the pillar and sent him flying again. And there's just another case. She appears through seemingly a whole window, and then slams Sukuna into a wall with enough force to crack the wall behind him. But of course, Sukuna still blocks it. So he is still different. It's Realm and Sukuna, but I gotta take what I can get. This is better, ironically enough. I know this sounds crazy, but this is better for Maki because even though she's not directly tagging him, unfortunately, she is actually forcing Sukuna to do things. And forcing Sukuna into things, while he's stronger than the Sukuna she fought. While she's weaker than 253 Maki, because she took a Black Flash and some slashes, and this Sukuna has 2 Black Flashes under his belt. So this is pretty good. Unless you could argue that maybe he's still weaker, even in spite of the second Black Flash, because maybe Miguel's technique is still active on him. But once again, the active range of Miguel's technique is basically nebulous. Once again, we just don't know. We don't have enough information on Miguel's technique, especially considering Miguel doesn't really appear until the back half of this chapter. But speaking of appearing in the back half of this chapter, no. We see that we start to get a hint, a taste, a whiff of what I was really hoping for on Maki v Sukuna, where they start using the air to battle. And I loved it. I love this image. I wish we got a bit more time with it, where they just straight up were like, fine, you can fly, I can fly, let's have a little air battle. And they just start immediately bang, 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 into the air. I love how Choso's like, what in the world are they doing? And it makes so much sense, because under the context, no one knew they could do that. No one told anybody. Like, they start immediately airboxing. Like, this is just normal. Like, no. And a lot of people have been hesitant on Sukuna having the same abilities of the Heavenly Restriction users. But if this doesn't prove it, I don't know what will. We see him do it as early as the Yorozu fight. He does it here again. Like, the man, he's basically just a Heavenly Restriction user with Cursed Energy. From the precog to the air hopping to, like, I don't know, the man has basically everything, and also Cursed Energy. That's why he's broken. But speaking of being broken, as proud as I am of Maki for taking the battle to the air, Sukuna's like, hold this! Ah! And he just duffs her with a whole Black Flash again. And notably, it doesn't appear like she blocks it. Well, actually, maybe. I can't tell. But just based on how the sword is being held, unlike before, where we saw her hand go down, her left hand palm it, and, like, catch the Black Flash, which is still crazy. This one, it seems like she just took unguarded. But, I mean, she took a whole Black Flash unguarded, straight to the chest. And she's still fighting. My God, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? But I'll admit, I got it, and notably I can tell, once again, once the scans are cleaned up and I have more, like, text translation, stuff like that, I'll know better. But, y'all, is this your Flash? Is this the Black Flash? Is this your 2.5 times exponential multiplier? You're telling me Maki, who can already be damaged by regular hits and just, like, face grabs, possibly, is able to eat a Black Flash like this? What? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm happy to have Maki feats, but I don't know. Like, that's the thing. It goes back to what I said at the beginning. Sukuna has to be drastic. Like, at the point of impact, he must be punching with, like, a percent of his strength. Because characters should be exploding. Like, I'll be real. For Black Flash to be what it is stated to be, for me to buy Gege's rhetoric, it's not rhetoric, but to buy what Gege's telling me, Black Flash needs to basically be infinitely stronger. Like, I don't want to just say infinitely. Infinitely sounds crazy. And it is crazy. But I'm crazy. So it's gotta be infinitely stronger. Exponents ain't no joke, y'all. Like, just think of how much force Sukuna regularly punches with and put it into a calculator. Even if you think Sukuna is wall level, put wall level amounts of force into a calculator and then raise it to itself by another half of itself and see how much numbers you get. See what tier you get. And I think we all know Sukuna is greater than wall level. And we all know characters take damage from base Sukuna hits. So the fact that they're eating these Black Flashes is... I mean, it's cool. And obviously we ain't just gonna get rid of my gold Maki. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm not really seeing the vision. He has to be suppressing himself massively, or Black Flash is a lie. But speaking of lies, Maki gets double pieced by 2 dismantles, which strangely enough do more damage than the Black Flash did to her. But of course, Maki notes, oh shoot, like he's recovering. His whole output's coming back. And notably, this is the first time that Maki gets actually tagged by dismantles. So there you go. She's now on the list. I still say, in terms of outside of Miguel, this is probably the best. She's still probably the best at perceiving and reacting to them. But I'm going to give her a pass, considering she was just hit by a Black Flash through a whole building. I don't think this is the most fair circumstances to immediately react to and precog dismantles. But I know people are going to be like, Pencil Man, look, she got tagged by dismantle. And she did. So I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm not even going to try and deny it. She did get hit by 2 dismantles. However, the output's coming back, which is bad. And we see that Yamazuki is like, my output's coming back. This is good. But Choso immediately comes in and says, no, it's not good. But then we see, as he tries to use Supernova, yeah, Sukuna's like, hold on, bro. Who do you think you are? And this is crazy. So he sends out a cross dismantle at Choso after dodging the Supernova. And we see, as Choso's forced to focus on the dismantles, naturally, they're coming towards him, Sukuna's already behind, bro, and is like, greetings. I'm about to give you back shots. And Choso turns around, is like, wait, I didn't consent to this. And Ryomen Sukuna immediately knocks him away. Only Choso to get... This is his 4th one! He's moving devious, y'all. Gojo hit 4, Sukuna hit 4. He's going for 5. He's straight. And notably, the Black Flashes, they seemingly enough keep getting bigger. Like, the sparks keep getting larger. And he just buries Choso into this building. And we see that Choso, he good with it. He's smooth with it. He buttery with it. He caught the Black Flash in a casing of his own juice, bro. That's crazy. He's even dripping it out. But then he locks Sukuna in for a certain somebody. Hit him with a mink. Everybody duffing each other this chapter. Everybody's boxing, and I love it. Admittedly though, YUUJI, where's the flowing red scale, dog? I'm one at this point. I'm generally checking the clock, bro. Where's that flowing red scale? I need it, YUUJI. Mr. Itadori, I need it right now. Where is it? Where's the flowing red scale? You're telling me you got piercing blood? You got Supernova? But you ain't got a flowing red scale? You, the punch and kick merchant? No flowing red scale? Where is it? Stop holding back, bro. Lock in. But with that being the case, we see YUUJI did indeed lock in as he slobber knocks Sukuna. And we see that Choso straight is like, hey, broski, I'll be real with you, dog. I really ain't gotta worry too much about them Black Flashes, dog. As long as YUUJI here and he keep mink, he gonna keep knocking you down, which is good. I think that is some sort of quantification for like how much the Black Flashes have restorative properties and how much damage YUUJI does. So YUUJI, at least the way Choso describes him here, is like a sort of anti-Black Flash. So every single time Sukuna lands a Black Flash, it's like, oh no! But at the same time, every single time Sukuna lands a Black Flash, as long as YUUJI lands a hit back, it's going to be like, oh no! And they essentially keep canceling each other out, keep lowering his output. And we can even see this by the fact that Sukuna's arms do not recover this chapter. At least I don't think they do. No, he doesn't. Any of his major wounds do not recover. Now, of course, the soul wounds make sense for him to not recover even off the output restoration, or at least a little bit that he got, because like they're soul wounds and even he's struggling to heal them. But even his arms that were like torn off by regular means, like Yuta or his lower tongue or all that, like they're still gone, which I think goes to show even with these Black Flashes, they ain't got that kick to them, you know what I'm talking about? But we see Miguel is currently taking care of LaRue, who, if you may have forgotten, was also hit by a Black Flash. Now, I wonder, and this is something I'll see when the translations come out, did they use their hand technique? Did they use heart catch? Because if so, the fact that they survive a Black Flash at all is kind of. It throws every other Black Flash into question because it's like, oh, so they're that bad. Like, I can somewhat excuse Maki, right? Best physical base in the series, literally transcendent, superhuman on completely different levels, the strongest natural human, well, I guess kind of natural, kind of unnatural human in history. Alright, I can give that. Choso, a death painting with, you know, the ability to harden and catalyze his blood to the point where it's basically an armor shield, and also he has his own sort of pseudo RCT, and he prepared and was ready for the strike. I can get that. LaRue, despicable me, but LaRue ate that unguarded, and they're still breathing. Like, shouldn't you be in pieces? But with that being the case, we see that LaRue's in fact not in pieces, and in fact, they have an idea. But Yuji and Sukuna, they're making, they're throwing hands. But Sukuna's like, boy, if you don't get your filthy mitts off of me, and he just, boom, he goes to slam Yuji straight into the ground. But Yuji's like, I know you were dodging my bros, but you ain't dodging me, little bro. And boom, he launches off the piercing blood. However, Sukuna shows his extreme skill. And apparently, here's the weird thing, though. Maybe it was Choso. Ironically enough, I took that piercing blood from way back when. If you remember the Higuruma fight, which is now like 2 months ago at this point, if not more. If you remember the Higuruma fight, I think it is actually way more than 2 months ago. Is it like 3 months ago at this point? But the Higuruma fight, I thought Yuji just used the piercing blood himself. But like, apparently, at least in the rough translations I saw, Yuji can't do conversions. So like, Choso gives him something to use piercing blood. So maybe that wasn't Yuji. But then again, why did Choso wait so long to interfere if that was Choso? That was my biggest thing. I was like, okay, so you mean to tell me Choso healed himself, scurried all the way over, climbed to the top of the building, fired one piercing blood, and just laid down? So I thought it had to be Yuji. But apparently Yuji can't do piercing blood on his own. So I don't know. Once again, I'll see once the translations come out, and we'll get a further establishment of this. But we see that Sukuna does manage to somewhat dodge it, but this does actually nick him. It does tag him and take a bit of his cheek off. And remember, everything Yuji does is doing soul damage, unless like getting that control a little bit looser. And we see that while Sukuna does dodge, yeah, he's a little bit disappointed in Yuji, and he sends him back with a few slashes. Yuji, though, he eats them for one, and for two, Sukuna can feel it, the sensation of the black rolling through. He can feel the black flash coming from Yuji, and this is one of the hardest Yuji panels in the series. I will not deny it. And we see that Sukuna's like, I am not getting hit by this. Forget about that. Only for his heart to be caught from halfway across the room. And he notices, you see his eyes turn to hearts on some shoujo type beat. And he turns and realizes that, uh-oh, he did in fact not one-shot LaRue, who caught his very heart. And we see Yuji's like, that's a nice damaged heart you got there, buddy. Hold on. I got something for you, buckaroo, pal, amigo. Boom! Dead in the chest! Beat him! Beat him! Beat him! Look at that black flash, bro. Look at it. Beautiful. 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 Scrumdiddlyumptious. Delicious. I will have more for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snack on the side, and I'll take leftovers for tomorrow. Golly! Look at how many sparks. That man was not chosen. The boy chosen by the sparks of black. Nah, he took some more. Bro has more sparks than Sukuna did across his 4 black flashes. Golly! And he beamed Sukuna dead in the chest. And now Yuji Itadori has entered the zone. Something bad is going to happen. Something bad is going to happen. Someone's falling next chapter. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my bones. Something bad's gonna happen next chapter. I don't know. This seems too good. Seems too clean. Too many characters are eating black flashes. Maki eats black flashes, then re-empower dismantles. Choso eats a black flash and helps Yuji fire a piercing blood. LaRue eats a black flash and then holds Sukuna down long enough for Yuji to land a black flash. Something bad's gonna happen. But regardless, you know the chapter's some gas. I'm excited to see the translations for this one in particular because, once again, I have very loose translations, very loose understandings of the things that went on here. And I do think there are going to be some important things that determine my thoughts in terms of Black Flash and its hypothetical fraud status, because I do think I got to put it on fraud watch. But regardless, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave the black slash, not Black Flash, slash, as in like slash, like what happens at the end of a Guilty Gear match. But Thank you so much for watching. If you made all the way to the end of this video, please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do happen to have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks will include the live reaction to this very chapter, ad-free variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 patron or a $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. And if you just want to do a one-time video order, a one-time donation, a one-time request, there is a Ko-Fi link in the description down below. Now, to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members: O'Connor Plays, Greyhound, Akids Void, Astro, Eternal Flame, Teen Midgao, Querencia Tala, and Red Wolf 4765. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 patrons: Steron, Sean, Panda Goat, Midnight Lord 21, Marcus, Kevin, Igneal, and Ehak1. And I'd like to give another thank you to our $7 members: Autumn's Mornings Lazo and Sick Addiction. And I'd like to give a hefty thank you to our $10 member, Banana Phone. And I'd like to give a big old thank you to our $10 patrons, Joaquin, Jermaine, and Ida Okami. And I'd like to give a gargantuan thank you to our $25 patron, China Doll 09. And another gargantuan, juicy, scrumdiddlyumptious thank you to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.